Hello history buffs and mystery lovers, and welcome back to our channel. When you think of ancient Egypt, what comes to mind? Towering pyramids, golden masked pharaohs, and the majestic Nile River. Right, but what if I told you there's a darker, more mysterious side to this ancient civilization? A world filled with spirits, curses, and tales that will send a shiver down your spine. Today, we're journeying back in time, not to admire the treasures of Tut, but to uncover the chilling supernatural stories whispered along the banks of the Nile. Forget what you learned in history class. We're opening the Book of the Dead. Our first story comes directly from an ancient papyrus, a real ghost story written thousands of years ago. It tells of a high priest of Amun named Kun. He was troubled by a restless spirit haunting a tomb he wished to occupy. This wasn't just some vague feeling. The spirit, a man named Nebusmek, directly communicated with him. Imagine that. Nebusmek complained that his own tomb had been destroyed and the wind now blew through his resting place, leaving him exposed and disturbed. He couldn't find peace. Kongswemeb, being a compassionate priest, promised to find Nebusmek a new, secure tomb, complete with offerings, to finally appease his wandering soul. This story shows us that the ancient Egyptians didn't just believe in ghosts. They interacted with them and tried to solve their problems. It is a fascinating glimpse into their belief that the dead were very much a part of the world of the living. Next, let's talk about the most famous curse of all. The Curse of the Pharaohs. This legend gained worldwide fame after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter. The story goes that a curse was inscribed at the tomb's entrance, promising swift misfortune to anyone who disturbed the boy king's eternal slumber. Soon after the tomb was opened, a series of strange and unfortunate events began. Lord Carnarvon, the expedition's financier, died suddenly from an infected mosquito bite. At the moment of his death, all the lights in Cairo mysteriously went out. His dog, back in England, howled and died at the very same time. Over the next decade, several other people connected to the excavation met untimely ends. Coincidence, or it was a supernatural force unleashed from its 3,000-year-old prison. While skeptics point to logical explanations like toxins or sheer chance, the legend of the curse remains one of history's most compelling supernatural mysteries. But not all spirits were vengeful. The Egyptians also believed in protective spirits and the power of magic. They used amulets and spells, known as haka, for protection against everything from scorpion stings to evil spirits. One popular protective deity was Base, a dwarf god who looked fearsome but was actually a guardian of households, especially of mothers and children. His image was placed on furniture and worn as amulets to ward off dark forces. They also believed in something called an Oki, which was the transfigured spirit of a person who had successfully passed into the afterlife. These spirits could return to help or haunt their living relatives, depending on how they were treated. If you remembered your ancestors and left them offerings, their spirits would protect you. But if you forgot them, you might just receive a ghostly visit to remind you of your duties. These tales are more than just spooky stories. They reveal the deep connection the ancient Egyptians had with the afterlife. For them, death wasn't an end, but a transition to another, very active existence. Their world was one where the veil between the living and the dead was incredibly thin, and communication, for better or worse, was always possible. From priests negotiating with spirits to curses that echo through a century, the ghosts of the Nile have left an indelible mark on history and our imagination. What do you think? Were these real supernatural events, or just the products of a culture deeply immersed in the afterlife? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if there's a specific myth, legend, or historical mystery you'd like us to explore, just comment, and we might feature your idea in our next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient Egypt's supernatural side, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the unknown. See you next time.